All right, what's going on, everyone? And welcome to the first episode of the Codo Bach Pitstop. I am Matt Lauterbach, one of your hosts, and alongside me,
What's going on, everyone? My name is Patrick Codo, the co-host of the Codo Bach Pitstop. Matt, thank you so much for making me a part of this, of our new podcast about racing. We're excited to talk about it.
we've so bit of the backstory. Patrick and I met at our job last year. He's been at Naperville Community Television Network for the past few years. I was hired out of college last August, and ever since meeting him and I have really gone going into
Let's
NASCAR.
just say the day. Let's just say the day I met him, I was wearing a Talladega hat. It was a golf tournament we were covering. I had a Talladega hat on, and then he sees my Chase sticker in my car, and he's like, "I found a friend."
Exactly.
Yeah, let's
Exactly.
just say me and Matt were those coworkers that became friends right away.
And you have a lot of that in the work environment. You have a lot of people who just like that right off the bat just get going in
That's
the best
true.
direction. So it worked out perfectly for both of us. I've gone to some racing events with Patrick in the past year, and about 11 months later, him and I decided let's get our own racing podcast going, and we have gotten it going in the right direction.
Yes,
So
sir.
we're going to preview or we're going to recap this past weekend's race here in Chicago. For those of you who don't know, we are just outside of the Chicago area, and we have a
Exactly. Which
little
which was nice.
race in
Which
Grant
was
Park.
nice about the street race. Which was nice about the street race because we just had to take the train down there. Man, I know you were sick this weekend, but it was a fun weekend for sure.
Yeah, it was a fun weekend for you. I'm sure you got to go meet a whole bunch of drivers. Got to go on pit lane. I'm still very jealous of you for that. That's
Do you still hate me for going to Daytona?
very much so. And this only fuels the hatred. But I'm going with you to Indy in a couple weeks. So I'm looking forward to that.
Next weekend, actually. Holy shit.
Yeah, time flies. Time flies. It's already almost Indy. But let's get right into this show here. We're
Sure.
going to start off first with, we'll do this every week. We're going to start off with our paint scheme of the week. Buddy, I'll let you go first. What's your paint scheme of the week?
For sure. And paint schemes of the week, it can go for any series. It can go from Cup, Xfinity, fuck, you can pick truck if you want. But since we had only Xfinity and Cup, I'm going to go with the Cup driver, and that's Tyler Reddick's City Edition paint scheme he had. And what's cool about that too is that Ian and I got to see a replica of that last season at the Cubs game against the Phillies when they had NASCAR night
Mm.
last year. They had it outside Wrigley, pretty cool. Sucks they didn't drive it last year, but when we saw that was a scheme this year, we're like, oh shit, they're bringing it back. Let's go. And Tyler Reddick threw out the first pitch at this year's NASCAR game for the Cubs.
Yeah.
We were there for that, and I actually, when I talked to Reddick on Saturday, I was like, "Hey, nice first pitch, by the way." We were there to see that, and shout out to Reddick, Bubba Wallace, and Denny Hamlin for signing the hat for my girlfriend. I actually had to chase down Bubba a little bit on Saturday to get his autograph because he was walking down. I went up to him, he just grabbed my hat and signed it. He came prepared with a Sharpie. Denny Hamlin, his daughter helped me out a little bit. I was, saying his name, and then, his daughter, taps his shoulder, and then, boom, to get the
Hey,
autograph.
hey, there you go. Hey, as long as you got the autographs,
This
that's
was
all that
right
matters.
before this was right before driver intros too. I was like, I'm going for it. I'm gonna try to get Denny's autograph for Kelly,
For Kelly, there you
and
go.
it worked.
Hey, as long as you got it, that's all that matters. As long as you got the signatures in hands, you got to meet them.
Exactly.
It's
But
all that.
yes, no, Reddick's paint scheme, and really, all 2311 paint schemes never disappoint.
No, they never really disappoint. They never Reddick always has some good paint schemes. Bubba has some really fresh
Bubba's
paint
McDonald's
schemes.
paint schemes. Bubba's McDonald's paint schemes are spot on. It sucks that Dr. Pepper left because those were some badass paint schemes.
Yeah, and I did like his DoorDash paint scheme as well. Those were
I
pretty
miss
solid too.
that.
I know, I miss it too, but
But unfortunately, business plays a role in NASCAR. Obviously, we saw Hooters leave Chase Elliott, which was a bummer because
Yeah,
there were some pretty good schemes as well.
there were some really
Except for
badass.
2020, except for the 2022 scheme. That was a
Really, that's an interesting take. But
I like the all black car or the
well,
night owl car.
the Night Owl car, those are pretty badass. He had a
Yes, they
lot
are.
of badass Hooters paint scheme cars for Chase Elliott, and you're repping his merch today, so he got his Napa Auto Parts shirt on. Pat is a Chase Elliott fan. My paint scheme of the week is
I am
actually
not a bad Chase Elliott fan, people. Just want to let you know.
yeah, Chase Elliott fans are like the Dallas Cowboy fans of NASCAR.
Cowboys and Eagles all combined. Let's put it there.
Yeah, yes, but Patrick is a reasonable Chase Elliott fan. You can have a conversation with him. There's some other Chase Elliott fans out there that you really can't, that are
No
kind of in
promises that I keep my cool though.
he is a
No
very
promises.
he is a very passionate Chase Elliott fan. He's reasonable, but he's very passionate. So we'll
Let's
keep
just
it.
say that this man had to give me a hug after Chase Elliott won at Texas.
I did. Yeah, I that was that was a great moment. Anyways, my paint scheme of the week happens to go to Ross Chastain and that orange Bud Light #1 car they ran. That
You mean
was
Bush Lights?
Bush Light, sorry, Bush Light. That was fresh.
You wish Bud Light though would be a sponsor for NASCAR because when Bud Light Orange was popular, that would be a cool paint scheme.
Yeah, that would have been such a badass paint scheme there too. But hey, we got Bush Light. They went over to sponsor Trackhouse this year, left Stuart Haas last year, and Ross Chastain is making the best of those paint schemes. They're going to make a watermelon Bush Light beer soon. You know that.
I was gonna say the minute Bush Light, went to Trackhouse Racing,
Yeah.
watermelon's definitely in the mix.
Watermelon
Hey,
is
Ross Chastain, you want to maybe grow some apple trees? Bring back Bush Light apple.
that'd be pretty great too. Bush Light apple.
Right.
Can't go wrong with those. Cannot go wrong with
Breaking
those.
on.
No. But those are paint schemes of the week. So we got to delve right into this action. I know you had a fun weekend this weekend, buddy, going to the street course at Chicago. Second year of street course racing in the streets of Chicago. It was the Grant Park 165. Wasn't full, 165 miles. Rain and darkness played a role in it yet again. But still, they managed to get the race done under green flag condition. So we're going to preview the Xfinity race on Saturday,
Well,
which was
thankfully it wasn't. Well, thankfully, Matt. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, we're going to preview the Xfinity race on Saturday, which was gorgeous. It was a gorgeous day of racing then. It's too bad the weather couldn't,
Right.
replicate itself on Sunday and what was not so good a day of weather.
Right. I mean, last year, let's not forget, last year it rained the whole weekend. It rained the whole weekend last year, which, had us worried at first because, well, it's safe to say that, and I hate to sound like a stickler for this, but, last year's Xfinity race in Chicago was kind of a fluke because, they only raced, 20 laps? Cole
Yeah.
Custer led the whole time. And then they're
Yeah.
like, all right, we're done.
Yeah. And they actually managed to get the whole thing going this year. No issues with that. It was a beautiful day on Saturday, and
Thank God.
Pat got to witness what was a thriller of a race, in my opinion. There were battles all throughout on
Well,
Saturday.
Xfinity never disappoints, Matt. I mean, talk about thrillers. It's Larson and Van Gisbergen going at it. I'm sure you saw Van Gisbergen give the thumbs up to Larson.
SVG is just making best friends with everyone out there.
How can you not like him, though?
I know. How can you not like Shane Van Gisbergen?
Sure, him and Austin Hill have had their moments. I'm an Austin Hill fan. Sure, him and Austin Hill have their moments, but I was like, I can't hate SVG.
No, SVG, likable guy all around. He is arguably the best road course racer that we have in NASCAR
Yes.
as of right now, and the best street course racer because I throw road course and street course in the same category for NASCAR because Chicago is the only street course race we have on the NASCAR schedule.
Right.
But
David
SVG,
Gisbergen has won a couple road courses.
he has. I mean, he almost won Coda. He won Infineon. He won Portland earlier this year in the Xfinity Series. And Saturday, he got to win again, his third win of the season, all three on road courses at the streets of Chicago. I just got to ask you, Pat, walk me through that celebration there at the end, kicking that rugby ball right into the bleachers. That looked like a thing of beauty.
Well, first and foremost, I would say that's probably the NASCAR celebration of the year because all drivers have their own pretty fun their cool burnouts and stuff. But the fact that Shane Van Gisbergen punted a rugby ball, and that's not the first time he done that.
No, no.
Here, Portland, Sonoma. That's the celebration of the year, in my opinion. There's nothing that's going to top that. I mean, what driver would get the fuck out of their car and grab a ball and just punt that son of a bitch into the stands? Are you kidding me? Like, you can't go wrong about that. I loved it. Jesus
No,
Christ! I'm surprised it didn't land in. I'm surprised it didn't land in the lake.
I he could have pulled a Robbie Gold from the Bears game all those years ago. Robbie Gold kicked a field
Good
goal
as
wide.
gold.
Yeah, good as gold. That kick was as good as gold from SVG. And those track, Shane Van Gisbergen, he's a colleague driver, but he's also a track house driver as well. Those track house boys, they got some pretty good celebrations. SVG kicking the rugby ball. You got Ross smashing the
How can you
watermelon.
not like Trackhouse Racing too?
You can't you just can't go up against them. Say
Sure,
what
Ross Chastain gets some beef, but he's been growing on people.
he has been growing on people. He's been quiet, but whenever he wins a race, you love to see that watermelon smash. And Daniel,
Exactly. He's got a dope celebration. Daniel Suarez with the pinata.
oh yeah.
And then of course SVG putting the rugby ball. So if SVG ever gets a cup ride,
Zane Smith, if he ever when he inevitably goes over to Trackhouse, I'd love to see what that celebration would be.
oh,
Uh
that'd be a dope celebration. But yes, the best celebration in NASCAR. Sadly, we actually were not up front to see it because apparently our VIP passes did not allow. We technically didn't have access to pit road on Saturday.
oh no.
So security booked us out on Saturday. So
Oh.
we didn't see the full celebration up close, which I thought was bullshit. But when we saw Van Gisbergen, coming first, we're like, all right, let's go SVG. And I'm like, he's going to do the celebration. It was on the train when we were coming back when we saw the video. We're like, he did it. Yes, yes, yes. And as he should. As he
Yeah.
should. It's the best fucking celebration in NASCAR. And I think the best celebration ever
Yeah,
of any
that's
driver.
that's I mean,
You
that's
want
all.
to talk about drivers having a personality because some have personality, some want to keep it on the low. Shane Van Gisbergen can do it all.
Yes.
He has the best personality in NASCAR.
He has an outstanding personality. He
If he
is
ever gets a cup ride, which I believe he will one day, Chase Elliott, I wouldn't be so comfortable about being the most popular driver in NASCAR.
and
No
that's coming
offense.
and that's coming from a Chase Elliott fan. So that's saying a lot right there. That is saying a
Exactly. Chase,
heck of a lot.
I love, I love Chase, but he's not going to be NASCAR's popular. He's not going to be NASCAR's most popular driver forever. I will say
No.
Shane Van Gisbergen will be in that category whenever he gets a cup ride. Shit, don't be surprised if Noah Gragson ever enters that category.
Hey, Noah gets himself some better machinery and stuff, and he gets out of Stuart Haas. He may have
Now, where the
himself
fuck's he going to go next year? That's the thing without Stewart Haas.
that's some
Rodney Childress is already going to Spire Motorsports.
that some breaking news about that. Rodney Childers going to Spire Motorsports. We'll
To
get
the
all
7 car.
Yep, to crew chief Corey LaJoy. We will get on that in a little bit, but Noah
For
Gragson,
sure.
whenever he gets out of whenever, at the end of the season, he gets himself into a better team at Stewart Haas. He'll be competing up there, but SVG wins the Xfinity Series race again. He's making all
Him and
awesome.
Kyle Larson kept going at it and stuff I love to see.
Yeah, that was a big battle between both of them there, and then they got on the pit cycle, and then they were trying to duel their way back up towards the front. You knew it was only a matter of time. It was a matter of if, but when they would get back up to the front.
Exactly, because you had Van Gisbergen and Larson trading spots. You had Jesse Love taking the lead, Austin Hill. Ty Gibbs was up there.
Yeah, you had all those guys up there. Parker Kligerman was up there. He had a nice run. Sheldon Creed had another great run that went flat again when he got spun out by Parker Kligerman coming to take the white flag. So I'm a Creed fan in the Xfinity series. He's an Austin Hill fan. So any of you NASCAR fans out there, we have some bad blood with each other in Xfinity. Right now, he's got the edge on me for the moment, but there's still a bunch of races left to go. So I'm
You're
holding out
lucky
hope.
we're just sitting. We're lucky we're sitting with screens in front of us. Otherwise,
Yeah, you probably be reaching your hand right through the screen and strangling me at this point. Just
I'll be Homer. I'd be Homer Simpson. I'd be either A, activating my Homer Simpson, or activating my inner Red Foreman. Which a lot of NASCAR gurus on social media like to activate my inner Red Foreman.
yes, yes. A lot of the NASCAR guru guys, they love to activate their inner Red Foreman. Austin Hill,
Or
if you're out.
any oh, they'll just find, they'll just love pissing off other fans. I'm like, really? You said that? There's this one guy that posted something on Twitter on Sunday saying like, NASCAR was a dumb idea because the rain came again. Like, okay, it's we can't control the weather for fuck's sakes.
Yeah, we just can't control the weather. I want to go Red Foreman on
We
that
get
guy
it. We
right
get
there.
it. NASCAR Chicago has its pros and cons, and I get it. I get it. But you know
Yeah,
what? Think about it. The population grew. I
the
think
pop.
over 50% of the fans that were there on Sunday. I don't know the exact number, but over 50% were first timers watching the sport.
Yeah, NASCAR Chicago is a great way to grow
And I
the
think
sport.
last year it was 80%.
Yeah, last year was a huge success, especially with SVG winning the race. That was a huge growth for the sport, in my
Exactly.
opinion.
And
And
you know what? NASCAR's not for everybody. I get it. I get it. It's not for everybody.
no, it's not,
But
but
but at the same time, seeing the growth in it is just a good sign.
it,
I'm really hoping because it's a 3-year deal. They'll probably go back next year to the street course,
yes.
but I'm really hoping that in 2026 we're back in Joliet.
We're back at
That's what
Chicagoland
I'm hoping
Speedway.
for.
Hey, they got
Yeah, where
the
it should be.
they I yeah, I'll yeah, the
We
Chicagoland.
don't want we don't want to keep driving. We don't want to keep driving almost 4 hours downstate to Gateway because
No.
Gateway is technically in Illinois.
That is technically an
Sure,
Illinois race.
NASCAR is promoting. Oh, we're going to St. Louis. Like, no, the track's actually in Illinois.
Yeah, the track is that's why it's called the Enjoy Illinois 300. That's why because it should be because it's in
Exactly.
Illinois boundaries. That is in the state of Illinois.
Right.
We
And
went
Illinois is a pretty big. Enjoy Illinois is like, yeah,
Mhm.
they're like it's perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect. I mean, and you and I went down to that race back in
We did go down there
we did go down there. That was a fun race. Got to see Austin Cindric win. And
because Ryan Blaney didn't realize he was out of gas.
well, he can kind of put a lot of that on his pit crew. I think that a
I
lot
know.
of that blame falls in his pit crew. That's not so much Blaney, which I'm
Yes.
repping Blaney here. He's my driver, so that was
Yes,
heartbreaking to
but
see
I'm
him
really
cancel.
hopeful that with the population of growth that we're getting in NASCAR, I'm hoping that we're back at Chicago at Speedway, in 2026 or next year. Who knows?
You never know, but yeah, I feel bad. I know a lot of people who used to work at Chicagoland Speedway that left with all the fallout from NASCAR not returning there back in COVID. That was a bad deal, and yeah, I'm really hopeful that they'll go back there. But now we got to go talk about the street course race on Sunday.
Right.
You went back there you went back, you took the train back early Sunday morning, race kicked off. It was interesting. We had Kyle Larson and Ty Gibbs on the front row. Kyle Larson won the pole, but he didn't even lead a lap. And Ty Gibbs set sail, and already we had a whole bunch of carnage happening in
Holy
stage one.
shit! Kyle Larson taking a hit at the wall. Daniel Suarez and Chase Elliott exchanging some balls. Denny Hamlin getting into it, Ross Chastain driving under the barrier. I don't know if you saw that.
I did see that, and he
I'm
kept going
like,
on.
I'm like, I'm like, Jesus Christ, what else are you trying to do with your fucking car, man? You already hugged the wall at Martinsville. Like, is your car that indestructible? I guess.
I mean, hey,
I guess so.
with how many people Ross Chastain has chastained, his car is basically indestructible. It really is that fucking bulletproof, honestly.
Well, in reality, too, man, with how terrible American driving is, I'm seeing multiple Ross Chastains on the road. You know that's true.
Yeah, especially.
Especially with your commute up here, because you got to take Route 59, all the way up to work and stuff at NCTV, and those Route 59 drivers are
Yeah, anybody who takes Route 59
let's
that
just say I
lives.
hate taking Route 59 to Plainfield.
Yeah, that's pretty understandable. Route 59 isn't the best, and it was certainly a lot of traffic
Oh, even
like.
by the office too, Route 59 is a shithole.
Oh yeah. That's yeah, Route 59 over by the office pretty accurate, but the racing was
Yes,
not the best on the streets of Chicago. And we had
it had
Shane
its good
Van
and bad moments.
it did. Shane Van Gisbergen looked like he was going to be his old self again. He won stage 1, and
Yep,
then the race gets restarted, and on the restart, Shane Van Gisbergen, still running the top 5, gets cleaned out by Chase Briscoe. Briscoe didn't Briscoe wasn't trying to do anything wrong. He went in way too deep, hydroplane that was starting to really pour. He lost
a lot
control of
of
the
people
car.
definitely mistimed some of those turns.
They did, and Briscoe just slid right into SVG, caught the back of SVG's car, and he didn't hit the tires. He hit straight concrete, which is not good with these cars. Basically KO'd the right front of that car.
Right? No, that was. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you got to be careful with these turns and stuff in the streets of Chicago. This isn't like, a fucking road course where, if you do come in too fast, there's still something like, some concrete, out right by the track to help you out. Like, when you see at Watkins Glen, there's a lot of people making those wide turns and stuff. Coda, you could get there's some wide turns. That's not like in Chicago.
No, no, not like that at all in Chicago.
These are some really sharp turns that you have to know your whereabouts from.
Very sharp.
Sure, it's a street. Sure, it's a street course. Yes, the street course, but still, there's the
Yeah.
word course.
Yeah,
Course is
exactly.
still there.
And it's very narrow too, especially well, that turn they went in was pretty wide. There was definitely a lot of room,
Yeah,
but problem was
especially the
Chase.
one where Bagley was, because we were actually right by that turn. And you saw in the video, you were right by that turn. That fence was blocked off by like the sponsor trucks. I'm like, really? Because
Yeah,
you're seeing them go shit. And living outside Chicago, I should know those streets, but you
yeah,
could see them going, past that turn where Bagley was making his calls and stuff.
yeah. You could still see it from back over there, but oh boy, yeah, no, it was.
All we saw from the rest was like the smoke and stuff, but we didn't fully see them make that turn. We saw them going up the hill, but
Yeah, yeah. The view was definitely did say to me before yesterday that the view was a little bit off. You had some like banners and some stuff up where you couldn't get
yeah,
the full view.
having the banners and blocking off that view didn't help. But it was nice too that we got the witness it from pit road. Sure,
Yeah,
we may never have that again, but
yeah,
I'll take that all day, every day.
yeah. So that was the view for Patrick
And
Coda.
turn one too. Jesus Christ, people were having issues. Like we're talking on this, like talking while racing, getting off a pit road, and we had a traffic jam. Of course, a typical Chicago traffic jam.
Yeah, coming off of pit road, the 2311 teammates, Bubba and Tyler Reddick got together. John Hunter Nemechek also got some damage. A
We
bunch of
saw Josh Berry go for a spin.
Yeah, Josh Berry went
Holy
around there.
right in front
Yeah,
of us.
yeah, that turn 1 area is a disaster spot for any driver, especially on a slick course
Well,
like the
let's be
streets of
real. There's
Chicago.
a lot. Any turns in Chicago, there's a lot of disaster spots.
Yeah, there were quite a few of them that were out there for that race. But Yeah, with SVG out, you knew immediately it was
Yeah.
gonna open the door up because when he won stage one, I thought, oh, this is gonna be it. He's gonna go set sail. He's gonna just march. He's just gonna run away with everything. It's
Yep.
gonna be hard to catch him. And then he gets wiped out there, and I was like, okay, doors are wide open. This is basically anyone's game.
You
And
thought someone like Christopher Bell could have won that race because he does well on road courses too.
he does well on road courses. He kind of got mired back in some pit strategy, though. You thought a Ty Gibbs could maybe break a Ty Gibbs, been oh
Ty
so close.
Gibbs, had a shot. Tyler Reddick had a shot.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I think it was literally Reddick, Gibbs, and Bell who you thought,
yeah.
could take the race after Shane Van Gisbergen went out. And nope,
No.
there once was a man named Alex Bowman who
Ho-
I give props to for this race.
Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. I've been sick all weekend. I need to hack something up.
Oh
I need
my
to hack
God. Of
something
course
up
you
here.
pulled that card.
I needed to hack something up there. True story. I had a head
Hey,
cold all
this is
weekend.
a race that he deserved to win. Let's be real.
It was a race that Mr. Alex Bowman deserved to win. So
All of his other wins were, right place, right time situations.
yeah, a lot of those other victories for Mr. Alex Bowman, but it is
Because
true.
this is his first win since the Vegas of 2022 when Kyle Busch was likely going to win it. Nope. Caution came out. Bowman stole a win from Larson.
Yep, and that started and after that race, if you remember, Kyle Busch, when interviewed, said Alex Bowman is all luck, no skill. And for a while, it looked like Mr. Rowdy Busch was correct in that statement until this weekend,
Right.
with just minutes left in the race because they had to, the end of the race was
Who
based
the
on
fuck would
time.
have thought we'd be racing against the clock?
No one, no one in their minds would have thought that. But Mr. Bowman, with time against the clock, he makes a great pass on Joey Hand, another
Right.
road course rainer, who I thought would have had a shot to win as well. But Mr. Bowman, the
Still
showman,
finished in fourth, Joey Hand. So props to Hand.
Joey Hand, fourth place finish. No doubt there. He's no slouch. Almost got RFK back to victory lane, but it was Mr. Alex Bowman. And Bowman had
Right.
another heart attack too, because Tyler Reddick, that last lap, he was
He
reeling
was
him in
coming.
there. He was
Reddick
reeling him
was
in.
coming.
And then he gets in a
Yeah,
little
Reddick.
bit deep, got in a little deep
Yeah,
and
no.
and hit
Reddick
that
helped,
wall.
Reddick tapped the wall a little bit, which helped Bowman breathe a little bit coming down to the finish.
Yeah, exactly. And Mr. Bowman is the winner of the 2024 Grant Park 165. And honestly, I'm
And he
happy
was
for him.
partying all night.
That post race interview, that's one of the best post race interviews I've heard in a long time. You know,
I don't even think a driver has celebrated that crazy before. And I don't blame him. And if you heard in his interview and stuff, they had extra bottles of bourbon laying around because they said after Vegas, hey, next win, we're drinking bourbon.
oh yeah.
The,
Yeah.
the shit's been sitting in there for over a year.
Yeah. I mean, he said I saw his interview with Kevin Harvick.
That bottle hasn't been opened since March of 2022.
Just soak that in for a second. I don't know how good that bourbon would be tasting, but I can only
I
imagine.
mean, it's liquor, so
It's liquor, but
all
hey,
you gotta do is pour it in with whatever the fuck you want. Jack and put some Coke, pink lemonade, pineapple juice. I've had rum and pineapple before, and that shit's good. So,
yeah,
or if there's any skilled bartenders, make some Hawaiian rum punch, blue Hawaiian, like party the fuck hard, and Alex Bowman deserved to do so.
yeah. He honestly, it's nice to see it because Hendrick Motorsports drivers have no personality. Whenever they've won a race, they have had like zero personality, in my opinion. Chase Elliott, I was very, say what you want. I know you're happy to see him win at Texas. He had no personality in that post
I know,
race interview when he
I know,
won that
I
one.
know,
Mr.
I know.
Bowman, though, I gained a lot of respect for him.
I've
He
gained a lot of respect for him too.
he did. And I know that you were there to see it. I know that you were there with our other friends, Ian and Nick, who love Alex Bowman. Alex Bowman's one of their favorite drivers of all time. I know they were just so excited to see it. Um, and they were just completely jumping up and down with joy, maybe with some pickaxes in hands, just that happy that they were going to go on a riot. But
Well, you had to figure with that celebration, Bowman was ready to pop open that whiskey.
he was ready to pop open the whiskey, and he did so. I mean, you saw it on his Twitter page last night. He was up at they were up till 6:45 in the morning yesterday, just celebrating in his backyard. So
I bet he doesn't even remember what the fuck happened.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't, but he was living the best night of his life. I'm sure he was
Yes.
living the best night of his life. So congratulations, Mr. Alex Bowman. You are in the playoffs along with your teammates who have also won earlier this year. And, buddy, the playoffs are going to be interesting right now because with Bowman winning, I believe that has 12 drivers currently
That
locked.
shakes up the standings if you think about it.
Yeah, that shakes it up. Yeah, 12, 13 drivers actually. 13 drivers are no, 12 actually. I'm sorry, 12 because I'm looking NASCAR the way they have their playoff format up
Yeah,
is
no,
not
there's
the
the
best.
bank, there's the standings, and then the
Yeah.
the playoffs.
Yeah. So 12 drivers have won this season. 12 drivers are locked into the playoffs. We have 4 drivers currently in the playoffs on points. Martrix Jr., 125 points to the good. He's more than likely a lock if he doesn't win. Ty Gibbs is plus 84. Ross Chastain looking a little bit shaky there in that one car is only up 53. And Chris Buescher is the last guy locked into the playoffs with just 45 points to the good. And behind them, you got guys like Bubba Wallace,
Thanks,
Chase
Tyler Reddick,
Briscoe.
for that. You
Yeah.
can thank Tyler Reddick.
Yeah, we can thank Tyler Reddick for probably keeping Chris Buescher below the cut line with what we saw at Darlington. But
Right.
you got Bubba Wallace still in the hunt, 45 back. Then
Yep.
you have to go a little bit further back. Chase Briscoe's 88 points back. And then you have to go a little bit farther back to find Mr. Kyle Busch, who's sitting a distant 19th in the playoff standings. And behind them, I believe
You say that now, and he gets a win.
I yeah, I will we love we love Kyle Busch on this show if you couldn't tell by the enthusiasm of my voice. So, yeah, we love Kyle Busch on this show if you couldn't tell by any of the enthusiasm on exuberated by my voice. But this is going to really make that playoff picture a little bit more difficult for guys like Bubba or Chase Briscoe to get in. This basically
Right.
puts them
He's
in.
down. He's down big. He has to win now.
Yeah, Bubba Wallace. Well, Bubba's the only guy I can see making it on points. If Busher or Chastain continue to struggle and Bubba continues to do well, like finishing top 10, top fives consistently, that makes it a little bit interesting for the playoffs. Bubba's right back up there, but you almost have to guarantee he's in must win mode now. Same with Briscoe and Kyle Busch.
There's a lot of drivers that are in must win mode.
Yeah, they are definitely a lot. Todd Gilliland as well, Josh Berry, who's been looking very strong, but had a rough weekend this weekend. He kept hitting the wall so many times at Chicago. Uh,
Typical.
Typical. Josh Berry's not your typical road course guy. He's been doing pretty good lately, but road courses are definitely not his thing. Michael McDowell's back there. Noah Gregson's been looking strong. Yeah, a whole lot of drivers currently still in the hunt for those last 4 playoff spots, but a win for one of those guys below the cutoff line would do a lot in terms of shaking this playoff picture up.
I agree. So wait, so you said 13 drivers are in?
12 drivers are in. The 12 drivers are locked based on wins right now, but Martrix Jr. is essentially in because he's 125 points to the good. MTJ's been consistent. He hasn't had a win, and he's looking for a win in his last season, but he's been very consistent. So
He has. He has. I mean, Had a shot at Sonoma, but ran out of gas as well.
Ran out of gas there. I mean, he's going out in the sport at the right moment, the right time though. He's going
Right,
out, he's going out on top. I mean, it's better than him trying to stick it out and be like Jimmy Johnson, and still trying to make something out of nothing. I mean, I don't think, Jimmy Johnson should have, retired. He kind of retired 2 years too late, in my opinion, when he fell off back from like 2018 to 2020. Um, you
right.
know, but yeah, that, oh man, the street course race at Chicago did not disappoint. So I
Nope.
gotta ask you, buddy, what was it like being on pit lane on Sunday for that race?
Incredible. Never thought I would see, the drivers up close like that, with the intros. And of course, being, from the Chicagoland area, you know, you'll see some Chicago athletes. You saw the photos. I got to see, you know, former Bears running back Matt Forte. I got to see DJ Moore. Coincidentally, DJ Moore actually took my phone and took our photos. I was like, oh shit, DJ Moore just took my phone. And then I got to see Tremaine Edmonds, and holy shit, he's big.
Yeah, Tremaine Edmonds is a big dude.
We saw the Bulls' first round pick, Modest something, forgot his name. Patrick Williams was there. We saw Barstool Big Cat.
Oh yeah, you had all the Chicago celebs there. Whole bunch of guys. I mean, and then you got to see. I got to ask, who did you not meet? Because you basically met just about all the NASCAR drivers there.
All the NASCAR drivers that I did not meet. Well, here are some that, well, obviously I did meet Hamlin, but there's no photo to prove that I actually did.
We just got to go off
when,
your word.
when it comes to, pit road access, I would do a photo before autographs.
Right. Yeah.
Because it shows that, yeah, I was there.
Yeah. I mean, the autograph is nice,
So yeah,
but
technically not pictured in my phone is Denny Hamlin, but I did meet him. So there's, I did see Denny Hamlin. I had to, obviously saw me take a photo with Larson. I was like, fuck it. And Bush.
okay. Okay. Yeah. You're,
um, um, I I did meet Suarez at Auto Club last year. I didn't meet him again.
ah,
We walked
right.
by him. We walked by Van Gisbergen a lot. Ooh, who did I not meet? That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But there are definitely some that I did not,
Yeah.
bump into and stuff. There's some that I saw that I walked by, but not some that I bumped into.
Oh man. Yeah, you got to meet a whole bunch of drivers though, because you went to Fontana last year, got to meet a whole bunch of guys, and then got to revisit some of those guys again. I saw you met Chase again, you met Kurt Busch a couple times, you met
I
Reddick.
didn't. I didn't. I didn't technically meet Chase at Auto Club. He ran off from me. I don't. Did I tell you that?
Oh yeah, he did run off from you there. You got to meet Austin
Yeah,
Hill
he was
again.
getting autographs, and I got to meet Austin Hill again. He remembered me, so that was awesome.
That's really cool when a celebrity that you only see every so often remembers you when you see him again. That's
Well, he
actually
came up to us. He came up to us at Auto Club Speedway as well. I was like, "Hey guys, how you doing?" I was like, "What's up, Austin?"
oh man, that's hey, Austin Hill, he sounds like a nice guy off the track, but
He
when
is.
he's
So he's basically like Joey Logano. Great
yeah,
guy in person, ass on the track. Same thing with Ross Chastain. Great guy in person, ass on the track.
yeah,
That's Austin Hill. He's a great guy. He's a great guy.
he's a great dude, it sounds like off the racetrack. I've heard a lot of
On the
people.
racetrack, though, not so much.
Yeah, on the racetrack, he's a bit of a dick, as you've seen, as a lot of the Xfinity drivers have
But he's
seen.
a great guy in person. I love him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is. He sounds like a cool dude that you just want to go sit and have a beer with. And
Exactly. Obviously, when I saw him, he was getting ready to race. I was like, okay, he's definitely locked and loaded.
mm-hmm. Yeah, he's
As all
definitely
the drivers were. I got to, shake his hand. I got to fist bump Chase, fist bump Denny. I think I shook Kyle Larson's hand. So
oh
I
man.
mean, this does sound weird, but fist bumping celebrities and shaking their hands, I'm like,
Hey,
what's up?
hey, there you go. Hey, it's nothing wrong with that. I
Yeah, no,
mean,
it was a really, real super fun experience walking on pit road. Seeing all the action. Obviously, you got to know your surroundings because there's people walking all over the place. Cool to see some of the NBC people working. I got to chat with Kim Kuhn a little bit.
there you
Um,
go. Yeah.
Marty Snyder was chilling by us during the rain delay. Obviously, he was busy, so I left him be. Fuck, I forgot his name. Whoever that other Dave guy is that does NASCAR and
Dave
NBC, he was
Burns.
there. Yeah, Dave Burns was by us a couple times.
Yeah, Dave Burns pretty cool. He's pretty fun. He's
Yeah,
really fun in the NASCAR and on NBC environment.
yeah.
But
It was like looking back at that, I'm like, holy shit, this is cool.
well, I know what I need to do for next year, and that is to save up to get back to going to the Chicagoland Street Course race because they more than likely will be going back next season.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to it. So glad you had a
Yeah, it
fun
was fun.
weekend
It
there.
was fun though. The experience was great.
The experience definitely sounded like it was worthwhile. I am super glad you had fun with it. Got to meet a whole bunch of drivers and got a
Oh,
whole
meet
lot
a
of
lot of
footage.
people. That was awesome. My brother wanted to kill me after I showed him the photos of the Bears players.
Hey, as I want to kill you for going to Daytona and going back to the street course race.
Oh yeah, well, it's funny too. Matt liked me and hated me his first days. I told him we're going to the 500. He's like, I hate you.
Yeah. Yeah, first day I met him, he drops the, "Oh, I'm going to the Daytona 500" on me, and I'm like, "You son of a bitch." You son of a bitch.
We'll
uh,
get you out to Daytona 500 soon.
well, one of these years I'll get to go to Daytona 500. One of these years I'll get to go to Daytona 500. But that was the Chicagoland Street Course race. Clearly an epic race in my opinion, especially if you're from the Chicagoland area. But coming up next weekend, we go to the Tricky Triangle, the Pocono International Raceway for this Sunday's race. This is a bit more of an earlier Pocono race. They've moved it up a week, I believe.
I
I
was just
think
gonna say they usually do it like late July. Instead, they wanted to change it up. So
yeah.
yeah, I don't get what
Yeah.
that's about, but
Yeah, we got the Great American Gateway 400 presented by visitpennsylvania.com at Pocono Raceway. This is going to be a fun race. Pocono has always been you always have some insanity at Pocono, and a lot of it involves that
oh, we
number.
saw it with Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin last year. We saw, 2 years ago, Chase Elliott get that fluke win. Yes, I'll admit it. That was completely a fluke win because, well, he finished third. So
Yeah, he finished
that
third.
still blows my mind. Kyle Larson blew a tire in 2021 that led Alex Bowman to one of his right place, right time wins.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, Pocono's been something interesting these past few years.
it definitely has. It has been something very interesting. It has shaken a lot of the playoff formats. I expect it to happen again this
Good
weekend.
because the driver I'm going to pick is definitely going to shake things up.
Interesting. Interesting. So we're just going to preview the racing. Let's style first because we actually have Xfinity racing going back there. Do we have truck racing? Yeah, we do have truck racing going back there again. Friday night, we got truck racing going back there to
Oh, sweet.
Pocono. Yeah, so we got a full weekend of racing. Truck on Friday night, Xfinity on Saturday, Cup on Sunday. So we're gonna just preview the truck race a little bit here. For the truck race on Friday night, I'm actually gonna go with the guy who dominated, led all laps in Nashville and won, Christian Eckes.
Give me Raja Caruth.
Raja Caruth, not a bad opinion. Raja
This guy's been sneaky good this year.
Raja's been sneaky good, has the win at Vegas. He's been a bit quiet since, but he's been consistent. Hey,
Yep.
quiet. I'd rather have a guy who's quiet and consistent, Alex Bowman, who is able to really
And there are some other drivers who are quiet and consistent. Chase Elliott's quiet and consistent and stuff.
yeah,
Sure, he's
Chase
got the
Young.
one win at Texas, but he's been quiet.
Tyler Reddick's been very consistent as well lately, in my
Yep.
opinion.
Boom. Byron. I mean, not in Chicago, but
Yeah, but Byron's been picking up that consistency level as well.
yep.
So, all right, so we got that going. The Xfinity race is on Saturday afternoon. That's also going to be a fun one. Ooh, I don't know who to go with this one here. Honestly, I'm going to go Chandler Smith for Xfinity. I'm riding Chandler Smith.
Nice pick. It's gonna be 2 years in a row for Austin Hill.
Oh, Oh, come on. That was a he rolled the dice last year. That was he rolled the dice last year. That was I'll give him credit where credit is due. He rolled the dice and won it with that pit strategy.
He's been quite inconsistent too lately.
He has he's been a bit inconsistent, but he got going again. I mean, he had like back-to-back top 10s, had a nice run at Chicago again this past weekend, finished top 10. But the month of
Yep.
June was not looking good for old Mr. Austin Hill in the Xfinity series. Had some really bad luck. Got himself in it with SVG. That did not look good so well for him.
Yep.
But okay, that's a decent pick. He'll probably at least finish top 10 in my opinion. I think he'll be a top 10 pick.
Yeah, top 10 for sure.
All right. Now we got to go with your crazy pick here for the Cup Series. You know what? Let's just get this out of the way. I want to hear your insanity pick. Let's hear how you're going to shake up the point standings for this weekend.
Well, obviously, you know that Pocono is a Toyota playground.
Obviously. Obviously.
I'm going to make an honorable mention pick. The
Okay.
honorable mention will be Ty Gibbs.
Okay. Okay. Hey, that's not a bad pick. Ty Gibbs, it's been pretty strong. He's been looking pretty good lately.
Yep. But my driver that's definitely I feel like it's going to shake it up. Bubba Wallace.
Okay. Hey, Bubba, this could be a get right track for him. I think this could definitely be a get right race for him. He's had a lot of
Right.
good runs this year, but the finishes just haven't been there
You're
for him.
definitely going to see a Toyota in victory lane. That's for sure.
You're
But
definitely
to
gonna
me, it's either going to be Ty Gibbs or Bubba Wallace.
I think either one of them. This can definitely be a get right race for Bubba Wallace trying to get himself back going. He's had a lot of good runs this year, but the finishes just haven't been there. His pit crew has been letting him down a couple
Right.
times. He's been caught up in a lot of accidents late in
Oh, when has
races.
Bubba's pit crew not let him down?
Yeah, I think this kind of doesn't look good for Booty Barker as his crew chief. This is not really the best look for Booty Barker. Like him as a person, but doesn't make him the best look as a crew chief, especially with how his pit crew has kind of let him down. I do agree with you. A Toyota is going to be back in victory lane this weekend, but it's not. It's going to keep the playoff format the same, though. I'm going Mr. Denny Hamlin, and I know you just want to reach right
Of
through
course you
your. I know you just want to reach right through your screen and just strangle my throat with you wearing that Shea shirt.
not really.
You're taller. Hey, this man is okay with Denny. He doesn't outright hate Denny unlike some
Hamlin's
other.
grown on me lately. Hamlin has grown on me lately. If you said Truex, oh, that hand be coming through.
Yeah, I think this is Denny's wheelhouse here. I mean, had the win at he basically he could have won past 2 years. I mean, he won in 22, but had that post-race inspection penalty that took that win away from him. And then he
Right, and
came back.
he got a win there in 2020 as well. So yeah, no, that's a good pick. And yeah, like I
Yeah.
said, Pocono's a Toyota playground.
Yeah, this is Denny Hamlin's playground. He loves this racetrack here. Like this is his place to shine here. I mean, a lot of places are his playground and stuff, but I think Denny he's had a bit of a bad luck streak lately and he gets himself going back with a win. I'm very excited to see what he can do again this weekend and
Right.
hopefully he won't ruffle some feathers. I mean, last 2 years we've been there.
He will just watch.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and he'll
Last year, 2022 was him and Chastain. Last year was him and Larson.
yeah.
Who's it gonna be this time? Bowman.
Hey, him and Bowman do have a bit of history as well. They do have a bit of history as well.
I was
So
just gonna say, let's just say Hamlin and Chase already butted heads. Him and Larson already butted heads.
Denny's
Maybe it's
just got
Bowman's turn,
Denny.
or maybe William Byron out of the blue.
Well, Denny's had beef at some point in time with those Hendrick guys. I mean, him and Byron got together at Texas back in 22. Him and Bowman got together a couple times last season. So him and those Hendrick drivers, they just love to butt heads with each other. Denny just loves to go at it with those Hendrick boys. That's why a
Or
lot of
Denny
Hendrick.
could, or Denny, or Denny could butt heads with Kyle Busch or Austin Dillon.
Hey, I wouldn't mind that.
Any Chevy, any Denny against the Chevy is always a good matchup.
Denny against Chevy, I love to see it. And Denny's basically come out on top in a lot of those matchups. So he has
Exactly.
he has come out on top in a lot of those matchups. So those are our picks for this weekend's race. And now we got to get, as we're wrapping up near the end of our show, we do at the end of our show, what we call our winners and losers of the week. It can be in any series, Cup, Xfinity,
Right.
or Truck. You know what? I actually have a new loser this week. We were talking on the phone before we went on. I have a new loser this week. You're gonna love this one. But so since it was only Cup and Xfinity out there this weekend, buddy, I'll start with you first. Who are your winners and losers of the week?
Well, our winner is obviously Joey Hand.
Joey Hand.
Take he looked really consistent this weekend, and take finishing fourth for the Cup race, not bad.
Hey, it's pretty good. He was SVG when the world asked for SGV this weekend and on Sunday. We got Joey Hand. I will take that.
We did.
Hey,
We
Joey.
did. My loser of the week. My loser of the week, and he's been a loser a little bit lately. Kyle Larson. Coming in too hot on that barrier, then boom, into the wall he goes. I'm like, buddy.
Yeah. He almost cleaned out Ty Gibbs.
Yeah, exactly. You guys gonna say that he's definitely my loser after his that was
Yeah.
rough.
Yeah. Kyle Larson's been stirring up quite a bit. I mean, he caused a bunch of accidents at Nashville last weekend, and then he just sent it in way too deep going into turn 6. You were right there next to that. You were right there behind that. Did you
I
hear that?
was.
Did you hear that impact? Just like what
We
was your reaction?
did. We saw the
Yeah.
smoke. We're like, what the hell? I was looking to see like, what is it? And then we looked at the replay, like, it was Larson.
I I'm kind of sure that had to put a bit of a smile on your face as though seeing Kyle Larson. I know Larson ranks up there on your guys' three's favorite list. So
Larson's someone who definitely lives rent free in my head.
he is. I mean, after seeing him win in person at Kansas, I'm sure that had to only just justify.
Oh, that was way before. That was way before that too. And we all know what I'm talking about.
I'm sure you do. Yeah, in Fontana back in 2022, that was
Oh, we're talking before that too. We're talking before he dominated 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Which should give you an idea what I'm talking about.
I do have yep, 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 yep.
He said let's just say a specific bad word suddenly results in 10 wins and a championship. I'm like, really?
Yeah, I know. No one talks about that, but no one talks about that, but
Yeah, there's a bad word that we cannot say, but it was a bad word.
yes, exactly. In the middle of the
Yeah.
COVID, in the middle of the pandemic. But yep, Kyle Larson took himself out again. Did not look good for him. Won the pole, didn't even lead a lap, and didn't even finish the race. So yeah, he's a big loser of the week. My winner of the week, no surprise, it's Alex Bowman. Came in
Of course.
right place, right time again. But he had to work for this one a little bit.
He did.
He had to hold off Reddick, passing Joey Hand, a road course ace. That takes skill. So Bowman,
100%.
I'll give him. Hey, he got skill back. He's in the playoffs now. This saves his career and his time at Hendrick Motorsports. And I love his press conference interview when he said, like, for anyone who was saying I sucked and I didn't deserve to be at Hendrick Motorsports, cheers to you. So
Cheers to you. It's a
I
soda, not a beer, but still.
yeah, still, you get the idea. I love that interview by Mr. Bowman.
I gained a little respect for him after that.
I gain a lot of respect for him. I never hated him. I never hated him. I
I don't
didn't
hate
mind
him
him.
as much as Ian and Nick does. Let me start there.
Yeah, I didn't mind him. I never minded him. I never minded seeing him in victory lane, but it did annoy me how he was always kind of the right place, right time. This win here kind of gets me going back in the right direction for him. My loser of the week happens to be Miss Haley Deegan, who is out of her ride, who is out of her ride at
Oh,
DGM.
why did I not see that coming?
Because we didn't really bring up Haley Deegan. She's been as forgettable as her time in Xfinity the past couple months. So
She's been as forgettable as her time on the track.
yeah, Haley Deegan. So for those of you who don't know, last week it was reported after Nashville that Haley Deegan would be out of the ride this weekend at Chicago. They were going to put in Joey Logano. They wanted to test how good the equipment really was in DGM, which is a polite way of saying we're looking to get her out of the door. Logano ran top 10. I think he finished top 10 at Chicagoland in the Xfinity race. And that was basically the telltale sign, because yesterday it was reported that DGM and Hailie Deegan have parted ways immediately. So Hailie Deegan without a ride later. We don't know where she'll be, but yeah,
Bye.
she's bye. So it's yeah, that's I don't know where she goes from here. I don't know if she goes back to ARCA, if she goes back to
Do we
truck.
really care?
No, we don't really, and it's not like she's going, honestly, it's not like this is a move that will hurt her financial reputation. Her dad is Brian Deegan. You'll be fine. Like, she'll the money will still be there.
That's only saying much.
Well, she's got the money though. So
I was
Hailie,
gonna say, I'm sure she's got all the money in the world. That I'm sure she will not be asking for daddy's money.
yeah. I mean, she's already made enough, but these past couple years, her time in Thor Sport and Truck really didn't do much, and then her going up to Xfinity for DGM, it just the writing was on the wall. I didn't really like it. I still didn't like it, and yeah, she's without a ride, so hopefully this will be what that team really needs to get going forward, because signing Hailie Deegan was not a good way to get themselves taken seriously.
Well,
So
hopefully they don't make that mistake again.
hopefully they don't. Hopefully they do not. But guys, that's gonna wrap it up for the first ever episode of the Codo Bach Pit Stop. My name's Matt Lauterbach,
I'm Patrick Codo.
and thank you so much again for watching. We'll be back next week. We'll recap our Pocono race and we'll preview our Indy race, which you and I will be going to. I am stoked for that one.
It's gonna be a party.
Hey, getting to go with the boys. Went with you to Gateway. That was a prelude. Getting to go with you guys to Indy. It'll be a lot of fun. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for watching. We'll see you next week.